Hi, I'm Bilal. Today is December 1st, and here's the latest AI news for today. Perplexity just added a memory feature to its AI assistants, similar to what ChatGPT does, where it slowly learns more and more about you across the conversations that you are having with it, and then it will tailor the responses based on that memory, right? Now the interesting thing about Perplexity is since you can use multiple models in the backend with it. Perplexity has to retain that context across all those models. So you can, in within the same chat, you can ask Perplexity. You can ask, let's say, GPT 5.1 a question, and then if you asked, let's say, Claude a question, Perplexity is going to retain that context across those two model queries. Uh, Next news. An AI researcher named Richard Weiss recently found a hidden document within Claude Opus 4.5 to be exact, and it's called the Soul document. So SOUL, Soul. He extracted the document by having conversations with like multiple chats. So this is not a hallucination. It is definitely it basically tells us a little bit about the model's core identity, and it's revealed that Claude is instilled with a strict hierarchy of values where safety and ethics are the most important things, followed by helpful behavior. It also directs the model on how to handle conflicts between operators and end users. So, for example, if I'm an operator and I have built an agent that uses Opus 4.5, and let's say I've given it a strict instruction to not share any information related to our backend, like for example, what database we are running, right? And a user that is using that system might try to give it a prompt that tries to get information out of Claude. So Claude has been instructed to like err on the side of the operator unless it would violate any other safety guidelines. And this doesn't surprise me because Anthropic has had a very like safety first mindset since the beginning. So continuing on Anthropic, last month they were able to disrupt a cyber attack that was orchestrated by AI. Their CEO Dario has been called by Congress to testify about that attack. We can expect a lot of questions about security in the AI domain, and specifically, what are these companies doing about threats from countries like China? Um, so, and I feel like this testimony can have an impact on AI regulations that will be put into place. We have the midterm elections coming up in 2026, so a lot of talk is going into AI regulation. Previously, we saw Sam Altman testify, where he said that like AI race can be even bigger than the internet, and that we should have regulations, but kind of gentle regulations that support innovation. And I think along with Dario, Thomas Kurian, who is the CEO of Google Cloud, and they have also been invited, and we can expect like questions around what are hyperscalers doing about securing our infrastructure against these attacks, and maybe even questions around how are these hyperscalers planning on scaling their infrastructure with these kind of demands and these kind of training costs. Um, More on Anthropic. So I believe last week, Anthropic um, Anthropic's models were available on Microsoft Azure. Now this makes Claude the first model to be available on the three major cloud providers, so AWS, GCP, Azure. No other model is on all three of them. So GPT is only on Azure, Gemini is only on GCP, Grok is available on Oracle. So it's a pretty big milestone. And companies that are, let's say, looking at using Claude, they won't have to be locked to a specific cloud provider. They can move from one provider to another. That's actually pretty big for Claude. And this comes a part of the strategic partnership between Anthropic, NVIDIA, and Microsoft that we were hearing about for a while. And in this, I believe Anthropic is committed to buy around $30 billion worth of Azure compute capacity. All right, moving to Chinese companies, Alibaba and ByteDance. So news came out that these companies have been using data centers in Southeast Asia to train their latest models like Qwen and DeepSeek. Over there in those countries, they have the ability to import the latest GPUs from the US, for example, the H200 GPUs or even the newer B300 GPUs that are available right now. Until now, Trump had banned any export of the H200s or anything above that to China. But last month we did hear President Trump considering opening the H200 GPUs, which is the previous architecture from the latest one. So let's see what happens with that. Andrew Ng, who is a very influential personality in the AI space, has launched an agentic reviewer for research papers. So before, students had to wait up to 6 months for reviews. To reduce that, they've trained a model on past reviews, and it's actually achieved like close to human level performance on those reviews. So it's going to be interesting. OpenAI has informed its API users that there's been a data breach caused by the data analytics provider Mixpanel. Mixpanel provides OpenAI with analytics on user behavior and product usage. Because of this, OpenAI has actually stopped using Mixpanel and conducting a security review not only of Mixpanel but across their whole vendor ecosystem. The Gemini 3 Pro launch went so well that Google has actually had to change its access limits. So previously, when it launched, even on the free tier, you could get access to their latest thinking model, and you could get like 5 prompts a day. Now they've basically removed that guarantee, and you're only going to get what is available. So, for example, I tried the free tier today. I was able to get 5 prompts, but that's no longer a guarantee. And Gemini is known for its 1 million token context window, and in the free tier, you only get 32,000 tokens, which is still big, but they've reduced it for the free tier. A new leak suggests that the ChatGPT Android app contains early references to an ads feature. Now, Sam Altman has always been against using ads with the app, and he has said that it should be used as a last resort for the company because people have a high amount of trust in ChatGPT, and they don't want to lose that trust. So specifically, what he said is that he does not believe that OpenAI should change the output of the models based on who is paying them, because that is what's going to lose people's trust. But in a podcast earlier this year, he said that they can think about other ways of monetization. So, for example, if a model does recommend a specific product or service, they can basically monetize on that. But the question has to be asked, like, if OpenAI isn't doing anything to boost that company's name in the search, then why would they spend any money on it, right? So let's see what OpenAI and ChatGPT will do in this space, and even if this ads feature will come out or not. I'm sure Google will figure out a way to like monetize, because Google is the king of ads, and so they will probably lead in this space as well. A recent report from Apollo indicates that AI adoption among American businesses has actually started to flatten out. Now, in the chart, I saw that we were seeing like more flattening in the larger companies. So one of the reasons could be that those large companies had started to like pivot to AI and kind of now have already reached there or getting there. But we'll learn more as in the coming weeks. Let's talk about valuations. So Databricks, which is a data analytics and AI company, is reportedly in talks to raise a $5 billion in new funding, and it will on a $134 billion valuation. And what's interesting is that they expect to generate around 4 billion in revenue next year. So the valuation is actually 32 times larger, right? So so this valuation is just based on how much the market expects them to grow in the coming years. We'll continue to see these high valuations for companies doing anything in the AI space, right? So DeepSeek has launched a Math V2 model, which is a specialized mathematical reasoning model, and that model has actually improved the Math Olympiad benchmarks. And more on math, Aristotle is an AI system built by a company named Harmonic Math. It solved a Erdos problem number 124 without any human assistance. This problem was actually a long-standing number theory challenge that was unsolved. So it's just amazing how AI is advancing math and science. Sometimes I wish I had access to AI when I was in school, but then again, like I wouldn't have been able to learn anything. So maybe I was lucky. All right. So that's everything for today. I will catch you tomorrow.